Okie, hello, good evening everybody, hope you're all well. So, I thought that for today's little live stream I can sit and work on this little illustration or painting that I've been doing of some little garden flowers. I call this my little gem or little jewels flower design, because these little loopings here always remind me of like little jewels and flowers and stuff. So I thought what I would do tonight is basically carry on working on this. So I have got kind of a mixture of loads of different types of art material out today. So I've got these little acrylic paint markers. So these ones are Artist Row paint markers. They are in my little Hoo case, but they're not actually a Hoo markers. So I'll probably be using a mixture of these at some point today. I've also got some water soluble pencils as well, which I can use. I've got some my usual acrylic paints that I can use, and I've also got a mixture of different watercolour paints that I can use as well. So I'm hoping that I can make some decent progress on this little painting tonight. The only issue I've got is that I started this painting ages ago, like as in I think probably about 2 or 3 years ago now, and I've only just recently found it again, and I've lost all like my reference photos that I was using for it, but I'm hoping that I can kind of just figure things out using other reference photos and stuff like that. So I've basically got to kind of decide which area in particular to work on, because it is on an I think it's A2. Yes, it must be. Yeah, it's on a A2 sheet of paper. My original plan for it was that I was going to turn it into like a textile print design. So once I've done like a full colour version of it, I'd then do like a black and white version and turn it into like a repeat design, and then use my screen print and stuff. That was my original plan to do with it. But yeah, obviously, as you can see from all the gaps and stuff, still got a lot to do on it, and part of me kind of wonders whether I should maybe feature a few butterflies on it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna basically try and get on with it tonight, and see how much more I can fill in. There's bits of it that I don't know what I'm doing with yet and need to kind of figure out as I go along, but yeah, get on with it and see how it turns out basically. So I think I'm probably going to start down in this little bottom corner here and carry on working on these primroses. I also want to add a bit more detail to these little spiky pink flowers, which I can't remember the names of, but yeah, start here and we'll go from there. So I have pulled up a couple references of some primroses that I'm going to work with. Luckily I obviously decided to sketch quite a bit of this one out, so I can hopefully use kind of a mixture of my imagination and then also some reference photos of some primroses, just to kind of work out what's going on with this bit. So yeah, let's get on with it. So I'm going to get out a tile. I feel like using my watercolours for this bit, and then I can obviously, if I want to, mix up some acrylic as well. But yeah, I feel like watercolour could be quite a good basis to start on this little bit. This is the most dirtiest watercolour palette in the world, but the good thing about watercolour is that it's quite easy revivable. Oh, we're joined in the room by a moth again tonight. I think where it's been so hot, they seem to really like my room when it's hot and night time, and also because the lights are on. Right, let's do some work on this little primrose flower. I'll do is I'll start with watercolour for this bit, but then really vibranty bit that I want to paint, I'll probably go to acrylic. So they're going to start quite dark. Looking at the reference photos I've got, they tend to be quite dark around this little bit here. And then this bit here is like a yellowy colour. And then they tend to go out to like a pink colour on the petal. This wire is really irritating me. Hold on. See if I can pin it up out of the way. Ah, that worked alright. Weren't expecting that to work. I thought it was all going to come crashing down on my head then. I think I am going to get my acrylics out. I do like using watercolour, but you have to be quite, I find you have to be quite delicate with watercolour, whereas with acrylic I can just kind of put colour down. But I'm going to end up using a mixture of both of them on this painting anyway, so true watercolourists would be screaming at me right now about using a mixture of them, but I tend to just kind of do what I want with them. Right, going to fill in this bit here. Just want to block out some of the colour. I'm actually going to add a bit of hopefully a bit of oranging. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to paint in a few of these petals, some information down, and then I'll add in the detail hopefully later on. Okay. I'm going to grab a slightly thinner brush. Whoop. End up chucking it at myself. Makes a nice change for me to sit and paint flowers, I'm not going to lie. Obviously I do tend to gravitate towards painting animals quite a lot, but I do enjoy painting flowers. Sort of enjoy painting everything really, it's just having time to work on each thing. Just going to darken up some of the colours. what I'm actually sort of doing is I'm using acrylic paint to block out areas of colour, and then if I want to put bits into like shade and darken them up, I'm using the watercolour to then do that, because obviously watercolour is a bit more like translucent, so it still picks up some of the acrylic paint underneath. It's just a quick way of putting things into shade. Doesn't always work, sometimes it makes it look like dull and stuff, but other times it works quite well. Bit of yellow acrylic paint, because these bits here, I actually want to make these bits look a bit brighter than how they already are at the moment. So let me just put in some white and yellow acrylic. Lighten them bits up, and then we'll fill in this bit with some yellow. Okay. Oh, bit of hair coming off the brush there. Just move this so you can see it slightly more. There's no point painting this bit if you can't see it. Right, so I'm going to paint the middle of this flower here as well, seeing as I've got some yellow on my brush. And this bit here. I'll work on the darkness of the yellow a little bit later on. I'm just going to block out some of these colours. Let's block out some of the pinks on this flower here. Oh, it's quite dark, but that's alright, it's no big issue. Keep on seeing parts of the other flower that I want to work on. I am quite scatty when I paint, so I'll start like in one area and then I'll be like, oh, I wanted to touch that bit up, and then improve that bit. Definitely need to work on darkening up some of these little primroses once I've blocked out a few colours and filled in the white gaps, because it's looking quite pale at the moment. I'm just going to quickly, there's like a few little bluey blacky dots on this little petal here, and it's really irritating me, so I'm just going to cover it up with some white. But yeah, I tend to work by blocking colours out first in the lighter colours, and then I'll go back through and add darker colours and shading at a late stage. Haven't actually got any white paint at the moment, so let me just get some out of this. I'm gonna have to buy a new one of these soon. Whoa, that might be too much white paint, but that's alright, I'm doing some more painting later on anyway. So because yeah, after doing this little live stream, I want to carry on filming a little video that I've been filming, and also I haven't actually done my daily doodle today, which is unusual for me, but I've had a bit of a lazy day today. I've been doing quite a bit of knitting actually. I'm actually on a mission to design some little knitted Christmas stockings and things that I can hopefully then sell. And I'm also currently knitting a little blanket as well, which is weird feeling sitting there knitting when it's really hot outside. So I do need to decide at some point whether I'm going to add any butterflies and stuff into this whole picture. I'm just going to move this palette out of the way. It's covering up a lot of the picture. But yeah, whether to put some butterflies in maybe, because there are a few gaps that I need to kind of fill in and work out what I'm doing on. Like there's gaps here and there and more further up on the top of the page, but I'll figure that out as I go. Right, let's see if I can get the rest of these primrose painted in. So again, they're quite dark near the little yellow patch. Need to get out a bit of blue maybe to darken them bits up. So it's like ends up going to be like a bluey purpley colour if I mix a bit of the blue and the pinky colour together. There we go. So I need to do that for all of the bits around these yellow bits. Blend them out into a pinkier colour. Have a little more spoonful of yogurt. Grapes and yogurt today. Trying to make sure that there's like little hints of flowers behind them, so these bits here need to kind of be quite dark, a lot darker than what I've painted at the moment, so I'm just gonna darken them up, but it just still needs to hint that there is like a flower there, but not be too bright. It's like these yellow bits I've definitely done too yellow as well, but I'll fix that in a minute. But yeah, I'm definitely on a mission at the moment to actually start finishing off different illustrations and different projects that I've started, because I have so many different things lying around my room, and the trouble is I get very excited about starting new things and then I don't finish off old projects. Sometimes it's because I like lose interest in actually painting them, and then I'll just be like, okay, I'll just completely scrap it. But this one, I've always liked this little illustration that I've started. I just haven't given myself or allowed myself time to actually finish and work on it. So there's a couple of little missions I'm on at the moment. One mission is obviously finishing off projects I've started. The other mission is, you know, all my little daily doodles that I've got in my sketchbook. I want to kind of start actually using them to create like illustrations and designs and products with. So yeah, I'm going to start like flicking through and kind of scanning like my daily doodles into Photoshop, and using them to as like bases of illustrations and stuff like that, and basically just try and get them so they're not just sitting in my sketchbook doing nothing basically. I need to be careful here not to get too hung up on painting like too many details in, because I need to try and aim to get all the colour, get like everything where I want it, and then I can go through and add details and colours in. Sorry, I know I'm eating and chewing on live. It's helping me cool down a bit, because it's been one of them very hot days today. I do not cope very well in the heat. I was not made for heat. Although I do want to at some point this week try and get out in the sunshine and do some drawing out there in the sunshine, because we've got some really lovely flowers coming up in the garden at the moment. I do also want to get into my local town and sit and do some people watching and some studying of some people wandering around, but that might be more of a next week thing. So I'm gradually filling out this little flower at the bottom. Still don't 100% know what I'm doing with these ones, but we'll figure that out. This petal here needs to be very, very bright. Hold on, let me move up the paper a bit more. Yeah, this particular one here, because it needs to come like quite forward towards us. I think I might need to put a bit of yellow maybe in. I think it's sticking my tongue out when I'm painting. Don't realise I do it until I'm just sit and stick it out when I'm on live stream. Okay. Just need to do the little dark middly bit on this flower. And then the yellowy bits. Move my yogurt out of the way. So I'm just going to let that dry out a little bit, and I'm going to move on to doing this one, and then hopefully once it's dried out I can come back and add a bit more detail and stuff on. But I'm on a mission tonight to actually block out quite a bit of what I'm doing. Them grapes are giving me hiccups. Right, I think so that's meant to be primroses, which they don't 100% look like primroses at the moment, but I need to add a bit more detail and stuff to them. I think actually primroses have got like, let me just have a look at some reference photos. They've got quite like a white outline around them, or around the petals. Yeah, they do. So I need to really work on adding some whiteness around the petals. Which, to be honest, I probably need to get a thinner brush to do that, so I probably won't do that too much tonight, but I'm just going to outline some of them just to remind me at a later date. So let me just outline a few of them just to make them look a little bit more primrosy, and then we'll move on to these ones, which I think are hydrangeas. So I'll find a reference photo of a hydrangea in a minute, and we'll work on to them. Actually, adding the white has actually really helped, because it's helped define some of the petal shapes, make them stand out a little bit more. Don't want to add white everywhere, because it will end up making it look a bit too probably cartoony. And as I say, I need to be a bit careful, because I need to get my thinner paintbrush. That will probably be quite white. Let's do some of the whiteness around these bits. Okay. Oh, need to be careful where I'm leaning. I just added a load of white spotted that bit there, but that's alright. That's fixable. So let me just add a few more white bits around the petals, make them look more primrosy. There's a fly buzzing right next to my ear, and it's irritating me at the moment. A bit more white. That bit there. Trying to remember why I started this picture. I did start it like to do with a fairy project. I was trying to think of like a fairy garden and what the gardens would look like. Actually, also I think because I've ages ago painted this big ginormous panoramic with loads of garden flowers on, so I think this is kind of like the pre-doodle or the pre-empt of that bit. Right, okay. Yeah, gonna leave that little primrose for now. Let's get some hydrangeas in. Now I need to decide if they're going to be pink. I have started doing pink hydrangeas, but I'm a bit worried that the colours aren't going to quite, or a bit worried it's going to be like too much pink overall. Maybe make it like a mixture, so it's like a bit of a blend, because this is like a blue iris or a purpley iris once it's painted properly. So yeah, I might make it so it's like a blend between the two. So let me find a little reference photo of some hydrangeas. Come on, iPad. Right, hydrangea. It's a bit of a weird word to spell. Just fiddle around with this primrose whilst my iPad is catching up with itself. Come on. Need to be a bit careful because I've got my references for my little bear painting on my iPad as well, so I don't want that to kind of lose all of that. Just gonna fiddle around with some of these flowers whilst I wait for my iPad to catch up with itself and wake up a bit. I don't know what it's doing. I think it's just an old iPad. Could always look for an image of it on I might use my phone. Let's go onto Google on my phone. Hi. Yeah. Images. Click on the image. Come on, image. Why is it? Oh, gone on Amazon for hydrangeas. Oh well. Okay. Lovely. Right. I think I'm gonna. These are quite blue. I think I'm gonna like have a bluey pink hydrangea. So just double check there's no paint on the bottom of my palette. No. Right. Bit of blue, bit of the Crimson Red, bit more of the Crimson Red, some white, right. Trouble is, this isn't actually the reference photo that I used when I sketch them out, but I can hopefully use bits of it to figure it out. So we'll go for this one here. Let's just get some paint on it. Mix up the really good for the middle bits. Okay. I'm just going to have to put on some Spotify background music whilst I work. I think I need to get a bit of black out. I do. I only need a little bit of it just to work on some of the dark areas. So yeah, because obviously I'm not using the original reference, so I've drawn some of the petals are in different places, but what I'm just going to do is just kind of just use it to pretend I know what I'm doing. See if I can find something on Spotify to listen to quickly. There it is. Good old Spotify. On the petals that I really want to kind of stand out and bring forward, I'm going to use some of the orangey pinkiness that I used in some of the primroses. And it'll hopefully start tying some of the colours together. It's on this. Just gonna lower down my camera a little bit. Go. Unstoppable, those girls. Oh, whoops. Oh no. There we go. I'm gonna be alive. Mix up like a reddy bluey purpley reddy colour. I'm just going to paint in some of the darker bits. All the bits that I think are darker. Wash my paintbrush out of there. Don't want this to be quite as pink as that, because otherwise it's going to clash with the primroses. Name upon it. See your face again. A bit more white in. Put a bit of shade in behind the primrose bit. For the rest of my life, you took a Polaroid, you put a name upon it. I put you in my wallet, hoping I'll see your face again. Before it starts fading. Alright, let's try and get some of these ones further down painted in. made me jump then. The music started playing in my ear really loudly. Go back to my darker colour because I want to figure out some more of these shapes of these hydrangea petals. So some of them are going to be quite dark anyway because they're hidden by the flowers that are in front of them. Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo. Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo. Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo. So what I tend to realise when I'm painting like the veiny bits on flowers is I like to kind of keep my brush fairly dry, because then what happens is some bristles from the brush tend to help with some of the texture. What on earth is this song? From me, me from the start, me from the start. Morning, gotta break your heart. gonna break your heart. Break your heart. Tell me from the start, I'm only gonna break your heart. Break your heart. I'm only gonna break your heart. I'm only gonna break your heart. Music has stopped completely now. Where's it gone? Don't like that song. Keep on thinking that I'm making progress and then realising I've got like a whole A5, A2 painting to fill up. But I feel like I made some decent progress today. love. Da da da. Alright, give me my love. You're mine, I'm mine. No wonder I end up with paint on my face. I'm constantly keep on scratching my face. Mind you, paint on the face is not as bad as accidentally drinking paint water when you think it's a cup of tea. I've done that before. Basically at the moment just kind of working on lighting up some of the areas to bring the flowers that are on top closer to the audience. God, you are loud. Sorry. Spotify music is really loud in my ear. So yeah, if I'm gradually adding lighter shades in to the ones that I want to come out at, yeah. Why am I listening to this song? I hate this song. Hold on. Oh also don't like this song. Inside me change. Give me the butterflies when you give me the whole dance to run away into my body. By the way, you do things to my body. Till I tasted you, don't need no butterflies when you give me the whole dance. By the way, you do things to my body. Inside me change, so much better than yesterday. Must remember when I'm painting this picture to not neglect some of the background bits. So down here I need to paint in a few more darker bits to act as like stems, and then I probably will end up painting some leaves and stuff on. Yeah, I'm just going to go in with like a dark bluey reddy colour. They will need to have some shading on them as well. Just realised at the beginning of this live stream I said I was going to end up using watercolour paints, and I haven't. I've basically just stuck to my usual acrylic paints, but it might be that like when I start shading things properly and stuff like that, I can probably use my watercolour paints for that. Because I want it to be really vibrant and like bright and colourful, and you can get vibrant and colourful marks with watercolour paints, but sometimes it's just easier to go straight in with the acrylics and do that. I love playing around with like bits of red and green together. I think that's a colour combination that always works quite well. I want to try and keep little hints of some of this light colour down at the bottom, but I also want to cover other bits of it up and make other bits of it darker. Cover up that white spotty bit that I made earlier. Accidentally let in the white paint and then onto my picture. That wasn't a good plan. Right, let's get back to painting these little hydrangeas in. I do like hydrangeas because they're very twisty plants. Higgledy piggledy twisty plants. Also found out the other day that they change colour depending on how alkali the soil that they're in is. Where have you been? Where's my music gone? I think I'm going to extend this petal over the top of some of the hydrangeas. I didn't get any yellow paint out, but I think I might have some in that's wet. Nope, I don't, because it's dry. Okay, let me get a bit of yellow out. I must have got some yellow out because I painted them bits. Oh well, put a bit more in there. Right. Just gonna put some brighter bits of yellow so that these petals you can kind of distinguish from the hydrangeas. I've got a bit bored of painting hydrangeas, so I'm gonna move on to some other bits. So I need to kind of make sure that these ones here really come and stand out at you, because they're meant to be the ones that are kind of above or in front of. So I'm just adding some bits of white in. So they come in front of the primrose a little bit. Paint some of these spiky bits on this plant in. Cause I feel like I'm always dreaming. Oh, I've got hiccups. Oh no, I need to be careful because I keep on putting my hand in the white paint and then splodging it. And again. That's right. What can I lean on? Just have to hold my wrist up. Find my way, tell me where to go. When times get broke. When times get broke. But someday we'll sit down together and laugh with each other about these days, these days. Back to these days, these days. Send down, I'd like to show right now. Really try to move on, yeah. Sit back together and laugh with each other about these days, these days. And wish you could come back to these days, these days. These days, these days. These days, these days. I really need to find out what these little spiky plants are called. We had some growing in our garden last year, which is not last year, the year before last, which is why I ended up drawing them on here. What I'll need to do eventually is add some more darker bits in. I'm just going to add the little spike bits in by mixing up some yellow and some white. Kind of, they tend to go around in like a little curved line, and then as you get to the top they become less visible. Havana, ooh, na, na. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, na, na. In Havana, there's something about his manners. Havana, ooh, na, na. The one I left her. Oh, na 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 na. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, na na. But there is Havana, ooh, na na. Heart in Havana, Havana, ooh, na na. Havana, ooh na na. Havana's in Havana, ooh na na. Havana's in Havana, the sun's in Havana, Havana, ooh na na. Havana, ooh na na. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh na na. Your birthday is Havana, ooh na na. Your heart is in Havana. There's something about his manners. Havana, ooh na na. Havana, ooh na na. the end of the line. Just tell me it's not the end of the line. Don't let this pain go down. You gotta hold on to what you're feeling. The feeling is the best thing, alright. Yeah, it's not the end of the line. Just tell me it's not the end of the line. I never meant to break your heart. Let this pain go down. What it takes to make things right. Oh, you gotta hold on to what you're feeling. That feeling is the best thing, alright. It's heading in the right direction, that's all. Yeah. Don't let this pain go down. You gotta hold on to what you're feeling. That feeling is the best thing, alright. This area here is kind of an area where I haven't really figured out what I'm painting here. So I think I'm just going to extend that flower out. I'm on top of the water. I'm on top of the water. Don't look down, 'cause I'm on top of the water. I'm on top of the water. painting the funny little orange bits. I'm on top of the water.